Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Friday, August 13th market update. On the economic front, monthly CPI number was in line, up 0.3%. Less food and energy was up 0.1%. The monthly retail sales were a little light, coming in at 0.4%. Estimate was for them to be up 0.5%. Less autos was in line, up 0.2%. The monthly consumer sentiment actually improved, coming in at 69.6. Previous was 67.8. On deck for Monday are the monthly Treasury International Capital numbers and the housing market index numbers. The dollar and silver were up, gold was flat, copper and oil were down. Light sweet crude futures were down another 35 cents to settle at $75.39 a barrel. So looking at the dollar ETF, the UUP, been flying here out of this channel. Let's see, we've probably got and we're right about the 150-day average here. Probably might have some resistance. This is 24.25, this prior high here. So be watching for that. But we have been quite a move here on the dollar. Over to the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point figure chart. We are still not on a sell signal. We printed. We got pretty close to today, and we were down at 75.41. So we still got to print this 75, so we haven't quite done it. So we're still holding this support area on crude. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow closed down 16 points to 10,303. S&P closed down 4 points to 1,079. Nasdaq closed down 16 points to 2173, and the Russell closed down 7 points to 609. The Dow held the best by being down 0.1%. The Russell was the weakest, down 1.21%. So volume actually across the indices, the ETFs that I look at, were actually about 30% below average daily volume, except for the Russell. The IWM was actually had slightly above average daily volume. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It seemed like they're, of course the Nasdaq and the Russell were the weakest today. So still seem to be moving a little bit out of tech, and the small cap risk trade seems to be off right now. So looking at the Dow, we didn't really move. We're inside day. We haven't moved anywhere. We've got the 50-day on the Dow is actually underneath the Dow, and of course we should have resistance up here in this level. Look at the SPX. Should have this resistance still. Another same thing here. We didn't go anywhere. We should have resistance around this 1,088, 1,090 level. I still think we will get down here eventually, possibly next week. I don't know when, but I still think eventually we're going to have to test this 1,010 level, which is those July lows. Looking at the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, of course, it's below all its moving average. It's not looking too great. We're down here, kind of holding around the July 20th lows, still holding, and inside day of yesterday. Now Russell is a little more interesting. It actually made a new low today, and so it was one of the weaker ones, and it did make a new low prior to yesterday. So definitely more selling going on here, and it had a higher volume. All right, so let's take a look at gold. So gold, it didn't do anything. It just sat there sideways, nice little tiny candle, just sitting there hanging out, resting. Wasn't really heavy selling or anything like that, just resting. It looks fine. Silver, very similar. It actually was up just a little bit. Still looks fine. It looks like it could be positioning to go higher. The euro still falling. Let's see here, look at the moving averages. So it's got a 50-day below it here, which could catch it there, but I mean it and the dollar have reversed dramatically pretty quickly. So of course this uptrend is pretty quick too, so I would expect some type of a bounce at some point. The VIX. So looking at the VIX, we do have still have this 50-day moving average has been this resistance around this red area here. So we're still hanging up and around this above the 30, and we're still hanging around this wedge, which looks to be bullish. Also note on the Bollinger Bands, we've got a pretty tight little squeeze here. This is a much wider and getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Of course, it got real small here. So we are getting a little bit of squeeze going on here in the VIX. So we could, pop downside, pop out, but it's definitely getting tighter coiled. Let's see, semis. Semis are, it's pretty much inside too on the SMH is what I was looking at, and they're not looking too good either. I mean, they've really sold them hard, very heavy selling. And if you'll notice on the semi, well, let's go out further than that. And a lot of these charts look like this. It's not just semis. If you've got definitely have a left shoulder ahead and a right shoulder here on these semis. Let's go out about 2 years. So we'll see how this plays out. Let's look at the weekly. So definitely start developing back here in November and see if this plays out or not. But a lot of the charts have got some head and shoulders going on. Even Apple does. So all right, let's go over take a look at the McClellan oscillator. So we are still, it's a minus 40. We're still not oversold yet. We need to get more down in here to be oversold. So we're really not there yet. Let's take a look at the sectors. So 2 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. Home construction index had the larger percent gain, up 0.33%, which definitely was a bounce because home construction was the weakest yesterday. The retail index was the weakest today, down 1.42%. So there's some concern that some of the retailers have a little more inventory building going on than they may like going into the more of the holiday shopping season in the fall and school season. Let's see. So of course there's no chart watch on Fridays. I will post my weekly watch list on Sunday evening. Let's go over and take a look at the current market signals. So there's no change here. We follow point and figure charts for the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P. They're all on sell signals. These are the price objectives per the calculation of the point and figure chart. And go look at a couple of these. So I was going to look at the Russell just because I noticed the Russell is see, the Russell has broken down here past this trend line. Of course, it has a price objective down here at 555. Now I don't know if it'll get it to it or not. But if you notice, ever since April, Russell's in a downtrend, definitely. I mean, it was just lower lows until we hear. And we don't know what's going to happen here, but it's definitely making lower lows. And and it did make a higher high there, but overall, it's making lower highs. Not looking too great. Let's see, gold. Let's see what gold looks like. Gold has not gone back on a buy signal yet, but I don't think it's going to get this price. It looks fine. It's right up in here. Silver is on a buy signal. Hasn't moved much. Still hanging around this 18 level. Has a price objective of 29. Copper is definitely on a buy signal. Right here, it is above this downtrend line, which could be a support area here where it's at now, and it's got a price objective of $3.64. We're around the 329 right now. All right, so that is all I have for today, and have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.